right, one thing that I did notice about the Modern Warfare 4 leaks was that there was no mention whatsoever of the Shadow Company.
That obviously put some fear in my heart, because, we fuck with Graves heavy here.
No, but obviously, yeah, I was wondering the same thing. And the reason that I'm even making this video was because, a bunch of you guys were saying, like, no Shadow Company. Where's the Shadow Company? Where's Graves? Like, you don't even want to play the game if the shadows aren't there. And I get it. Obviously, at the end of the day, the Shadow Company, they're not the good guys. They're not, right? They're a PMC. Call of Duty can make them out to be whatever they want. They could be money-hungry bastards that just murder on a whim and don't care about anything. And they can portray Graves as a piece of shit as much as they want to. You know what I'm saying? So, like, the Shadow Company aren't part of a quote-unquote good guys like the Task Force 141, if that's what we're even calling them now. But if Modern Warfare or Call of Duty or Activision don't want to include Commander Graves and his shadows in the upcoming 4th game, then they just won't do it. So there's a small fear that maybe the shadows and Commander Graves won't be a part of the game. And if we remember some of the leaks, just little parts of it, they're talking about a war between Russia and the United States, potentially South Korea being involved. Maybe an attack on New York City, Makarov. We also get in the leaks that we're potentially getting the Demon Dogs back, so the Marines are coming back. Maybe another American element is coming back, but you're already splitting the game between Task Force 141 and the Marines with a potential mission or two in there playing as Makarov's Inner Circle. That doesn't seem to leave all that much room for Commander Graves and his Shadow Company. It just doesn't. And I don't know where Graves and his shadows could be a part of the story to, like, move the plot forward, move the story forward, or give something significant. You don't want to have the Shadow Company and Commander Graves in the story just to have them in the story. That's kind of what happened in Modern Warfare 3, and it just didn't really work out all that much. Modern Warfare 3 was all over the place. We know that. It should have been a little bit longer. It should have expanded some topics a little bit more. And with Commander Graves in the 3rd game, they really just butchered it. He acted kind of nice, then he wasn't, then he backstabbed Shepard, or he turned on Shepard, and it was just this whole thing, right? So Commander Graves is in a tough situation, like himself. Philip Graves in a tough situation because, the court was looking into him because of the incident in Mexico. So we don't even know what happened to him. Like, is he done, or did he leave the PMC? And honestly, I don't know in this big story that we're already getting in Modern Warfare 4, and it might potentially be the last story that we get in the rebooted series, because Makarov could very well die in this game. More than likely, Makarov should die in this game. And so where do we go from Makarov dying, right? These actors have been portraying these characters for a few years now. Maybe they want to move on. So this might be the last Modern Warfare game. So do you include Commander Graves, as popular as he is, as popular as the Shadow Company is? Do you try to force him into the story? And I don't know how, because I'm trying to think of what he did in the 1st game. In the 1st game, he was assisting General Shepard and Task Force 141 in getting the missiles, retrieving the missiles, and he was friendly with the 141 until the true intentions were revealed, that they were ambushed, they lost the missiles, and they wanted to get them back, and they wanted to get rid of Task Force 141, or like push them to the curb, right? And one thing led to another, and General Shepard wanted some of the Task Force 1 members dead. Graves executed what the general asked, and it was basically Task Force 141 and Los Vaqueros versus Graves and the Shadow Company. And in the end, they almost kill Graves. They take out the shadows, and then the 3rd game, Graves comes back, fights alongside Task Force 141 again for like a little bit, and then he turns his back on Shepard, or they turn on each other. And so he already didn't offer all that much in Modern Warfare 3 in terms of story. So what can he truly offer in Modern Warfare 4, especially with General Shepard being gone and dead? I don't think that this version of the Shadow Company or even Commander Philip Graves needs Shepard. I really, really don't. I think that Philip Graves and the Shadow Company can sustain themselves, and I think Graves is more than capable of running his team without any of that interference. But the biggest but here is that without General Shepard in the story, there's no need for Graves and the Shadows to be in Modern Warfare 4. Laswell's not going to want to work with them. Task Force 141 is definitely not going to want to work with them. You know what I'm saying? So that's where we're kind of getting in the area where we don't know what to do with Graves. And maybe if we don't know what to do with Graves, we just don't use them at all. Because Modern Warfare hasn't 100% established whether Graves is just a real bad motherfucker or he has some redeeming qualities in him and his shadows have some redeeming qualities in him. They just haven't. We could say, well, he massacred some people in Mexico. That means he's a piece of shit, bad, evil. Sure. But we could also say, you know what, he was helping Farah push Makarov and his folks out and yada, yada, yada. Well, maybe there's some redeeming qualities there. I don't know. You see what I mean? Modern Warfare and the writers, whoever, they just haven't specifically defined what Graves is, or what his shadows are. Because they've again worked with Task Force 141 even after the massacre in Mexico, even after some other things. So yeah, we don't know. I don't know. I would like to see the shadows. Of course, I would like to see the shadows. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, when I saw that they weren't there, yes, I was a little worried. I was like, well, where are they? But thinking realistically and logically, maybe there's no place or space for the shadows and for Commander Graves in this story. But knowing Call of Duty, knowing Activision and the way that they do things, they're gonna want to pigeonhole the Shadow Company and Commander Graves somewhere in that story just to probably sell some more skins or do more events in Warzone. That's a big possibility. They just throw them in for some reason. We've talked in the past about how Makarov could kill Graves, or we've talked in the past about how Graves maybe wants to seek revenge against Makarov for all the shit that he's brought him. Because at the end of the day, Connie Group, the Inner Circle, Vladimir Makarov has caused a lot of personal problems to Commander Graves and his Shadow Company. They've killed his men, they stole his missile, they've captured, kidnapped, and tortured some of his men. So there's a real, probably animosity and war and hatred between Commander Philip Graves and Vladimir Makarov. There's probably that hate between the two. So that means that there could be something there. Could it be an offhand comment about Makarov saying that he took care of Philip Graves, and they explain it that way? An off-screen death. Overall, I think Graves still is a fan favorite amongst a large, loud part of the community in Call of Duty. And so if Vladimir Makarov kills him, then that just probably elevates Makarov a little bit more, because really Makarov hasn't done anything that we have said, oh, holy crap, in this particular version of himself. So yeah, I don't know, guys. I really don't know. I wanted to bring this up because you guys had talked about it, and really, I don't know that this deserves like a really in-depth video or things like that. So I wanted to sit here with you guys, have a conversation, talk a little bit, and maybe you guys can give me some perspective on how we can bring the Shadows and Commander Graves into the story of Modern Warfare 4 with the leaks that we have and still make it make sense, right? Because maybe there's a way to bring them in that makes perfect sense and it closes out Graves and Shadow's story once and for all, or it sets up a potential spin-off like we've talked so much about here. Because we cannot keep recycling Modern Warfare and Black Ops for eternity. We just can't. At some point, we got to move on and try some new shit. So setting up the Shadows and Graves in a potential spinoff might work. I don't know.